Spoiler warning! Alright, did you make it past that annoying spoiler warning? Yeah, it's annoying for a reason, so you know there are spoilers ahead for The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 5, called The Return. And with the episode titles being released a while back, everybody had their speculations on what they meant. Now, The Return meant something different. The Return is the return to Crosshair's place of rebirth. Now that means he had to return to Barton 4, the ice planet. But we'll get into that in just a moment. If you haven't done so already, please listen to our sponsor. And that is me. I pay for the crap around here, so I get to be the sponsor. Please hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it with some friends, some enemies, your pets, a goldfish. I don't care. Just share it. Spread it around. Spread the word. Let's help this channel grow. I am on a mission to get to 50,000 subscribers, and only you can help. So, do that. Now, with that shameless plug out of the way, let's go ahead and move along, as the Stormtrooper would say. Funny story about that. Yeah, I'm going to get a little sidetracked here for a moment. I was at a local comic book convention dressed in my Mandalorian armor, and the 501st Legion was there, and a Stormtrooper stopped right in front of me. Just stopped. I looked at him and I said, move along, move along. Yeah, he got mad. He was really mad. He moved along, though. And that's nothing against the 501st Legion. They're a bunch of great guys. I've talked to many of them and love hanging out with them. But yeah, that was kind of fun. All right, let's move along with The Bad Batch, Season 3, Episode 5, titled The Return. And we do get to return to Barton 4. If you don't remember what that planet was, that's the planet that Crosshair killed the Imperial Lieutenant for allowing Mayday to die. Yeah, that was a sad episode. Hated it. But here we are. I'm not going to give you a play-by-play of the entire episode because if you've made it this far, you've already seen it. Now, some things that are notable in this episode are, one, Crosshair's hand and his accuracy are depleting. His hand's shaky and he can't hit his target but 53% of the time. And that's disturbing for somebody who's a sniper. To me, this means that one day he's no longer going to be able to be a soldier. And one day, I don't think he's going to make it through the season. It's just my thought, though. You can get mad about it. And I think it would be an emotional impact if we lost Crosshair just after he comes back to his brethren. So much so that they've been highlighting him throughout this entire season, making Hunter and Wrecker almost side characters of their own story. And that's okay, because they did it with Tech in the last season, and we see what happened at the end of Season 2. Another heartfelt moment. But another notable object is that Crosshair regained his old armor, meaning he's not exposed and left open for his brothers. Now he has a little bit of protection. He can keep his emotions intact inside him and not let them out. And we see that. He doesn't let them know exactly what's going on with him throughout this episode. He shows them rather than tells them. And I'm not talking about he didn't tell them what happened to him. Of course he told them what happened to him, but he's keeping his emotions in check and keeping them inside, not telling his emotions. Rather, Hunter's visually seeing his emotions. Makes sense? Now, in Season 3 of The Bad Batch, Crosshair has definitely become my favorite character of the story. I can't think of another character in this story that's as good as him. He's got more character arc than any other character, other than maybe Omega, and he's just become an incredible character. I don't know what else to say. I'm saying character a lot. Now think of a family that has 3 sons. There's 2 sons that are always at odds, usually the youngest and the oldest. Then the one in the middle is kind of like the peacekeeper, or the one that just stays out of things and goes and plays with his toys. And that's what the Bad Batch is reminding me of. Clone Force 99 has become squabbling little brothers to Omega, who reminds them that she is older and they are little brothers. And she actually plays as the parent in this episode, which I thought was kind of interesting. I kind of liked it. Finally, they're enhancing the fact that Omega is older than her brothers, and maybe not maturely older or in maturity, whatever. maybe her maturity isn't older than them because she hasn't been through the rigors of war and she doesn't have the advanced aging. So, yeah, that's kind of neat. So I want to go back to Crosshair just for a moment. Yeah, I love that guy. I think he's so neat. And it makes me want to think, what does Joseph Gordon Levitt think of this show and Crosshair in particular? He's a huge Star Wars nerd, by the way. I know I've mentioned him in a couple videos, but yeah, I think he's a good actor. Anyways, let's get back to Crosshair. He tells Omega that she can't save all the clones in the prison. And there's a reason for that. When we get back to Bartom 4, it all makes sense because he couldn't save all the clones there. And he has resigned himself to the fact that this empire is bigger than they could have imagined, that it's becoming stronger, and these clones are not enough of them to fight them off. And Omega in particular is not strong enough to fight off the entire empire to save every clone. Now, in this episode, we also see Crosshair using actions that speak louder than words. He says, "I'm sorry" to Hunter without saying "I'm sorry," by just helping him and showing him that he's actually there to help them out and that he is one of their brothers and wants to continue being that he's remorseful for what he's done to them and what he's done against clones in particular. Not so much Jedi. He hasn't shown any remorse for that, like I said in my last video. But, take what you can get. And in this episode, it also proves that there is always a monster. This season has had so many monsters, and so many people have pointed that out. That's probably the only thing I'm looking down on, because there's a lack of true enemy and more of just monsters. They're cool and everything. Star Wars universe is full of monsters, but come on, let's get on with the story. And another thing that's disturbing me is we are 1/3 of the way finished, and it doesn't feel like we're any closer to ending it. A little bit closer, but not 5 episodes worth. I feel like they're going to rush the ending, and I hope that doesn't happen. I think this season's going to be amazing, however it turns out, but I don't want that ending to be rushed. I want there to be some emotional impact and some kind of reason why we want to come back and watch it again and again and again. Hope that makes sense. I also think the episodes should be a little bit longer, at least push past 35 minutes to 45 minutes. That way we can get a deeper story. We only get 15 episodes to end this story, and I think longer episodes would really highlight that and get into the details a little bit better. Now, that isn't saying that it isn't good. It is good. With my critiques, I always give a little bit of bad and a lot of good. And I've given a lot of good. Crosshair, he's good. Good character. Now, in the other reviews I've done, I've said about the music, how the music's brilliant, and it still is, so I don't want to keep saying that over and over and over in every video. It kind of doesn't make sense to me to keep talking about it, because I don't think that's going to change. I am loving what Dave Filoni is doing with the Star Wars universe, connecting everything. Yes, it's a big universe and a big galaxy, and everybody shouldn't know everybody and everything, but it makes sense to connect these stories because these stories are connected to the bigger picture. But let me know what you think in the comments below of the Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 5, titled The Return. Love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share the video with your dog, some friends, some enemies, whatever. Why? Because it's freaking Star Wars, baby, and we all love it. No matter what we like or dislike in Star Wars, we all love Star Wars. This is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way, and positivity in Star Wars can be the only way.